Okay, the next question is from GATE 2017, question 41. It says a proposed housing will have HIG, MIG and LIG units on a site measuring 60,750 square meter. The buildable area of each category of units with respect to the total buildable area will be 30%, 50% and 20% respectively. The maximum allowable FAR is 2.5, ground coverage 45% and height 15 meter. The maximum buildable area in square meter of HIG units considering a floor height of 3 meter for all categories will be how much? So if you compare this with the previous year question, what is added here, right now they have mentioned till this part the percentage for different category of unit is same like the previous one. Right now they have mentioned the maximum FAR also along with the ground coverage. So ground coverage here will be 45%. Also they have specified what will be the height of the building, and what they are asking the maximum buildable area in square meter of HIG units considering a floor height of 3 meter for all categories. They have specifically mentioned what will be the maximum floor height, and there is a restriction of total height of a building as 15 meter. So let's first of all write down the what is the given information in step by step. So first of all, site area, it is mentioned directly in square meter. We don't need to convert from hectare to square meter like the earlier one. So the site area is 60,750 meter. We have write down the given value. Then they are saying the buildable area for each category for HIG, MIG and LIG as per the order is 30%, 50% and 20%. The next further thing they have mentioned the allowable FAR as well as they have mentioned the ground coverage. Now the first thing we will calculate what is the built up area, maximum permissible built up area considering the maximum FAR as 2.5. So a maximum FAR is 2.5. The very next step we will calculate the maximum permissible built up area. So which will be 60,750 into 2.5. So which will be 1,51,875 square meter. Now we have to just divide this maximum permissible built up area in this percentage. We have to distribute in this percent 30%, 50% and 20% for HIG, MIG and LIG respectively. Furthermore, before dividing this, they have also mentioned the ground coverage also. Maximum ground coverage is 50%. So this area, maximum built up area, this sorry, not the built up area, this site area among this 60,750, we can use only 45%. The remaining area we have to keep it open. So 45% of 60,750 will be 27,337.5. So in the total area, let's say if the site is in square shape, so out of 60,750 we are using only 27,337.5. In this ground coverage we have to achieve the total built up area is of 1,51,875, and in this we have to again divide it in this ratio 30%, 50% and 20%. So this ground coverage will also be divided into this percentage. So now we will categorize the information as per HIG, MIG and LIG unit as per the criteria given. So the first thing is this built up area, maximum buildable area will be again divided in this proportion 30%, 50% and 20%. So simply 30% of maximum permissible built up area we will calculate. So 30% of 1,51,875 will be 45,562.5 square meter. Here just take care of this one thing that in the required information they have asked only for the HIG units. So in order to save the time, one can understand that there is no need to calculate for MIG and LIG category. So we can calculate only for the HIG so that it will save our time. We don't need to waste the time in calculating what is the maximum built up area for MIG and LIG. So here we have calculated what will be the distribution of maximum buildable area for HIG. Now maximum coverage, ground coverage, again it will be in this proportion 30%, 50% and 20%. So 30% of 27,337.5 square meter will be 8,201.25 square meter. Now in this much area we have to totally construct all the floor area. If we add all the floors, it will total will be 45,562. So if we simply divide this figure by this figure, we will get the what will be the maximum floors we can construct in order to achieve the maximum permissible built up area for HIG category. So in the next step, just we can also divide this and then get whether we are achieving the restricted height or we are going beyond that. So before that, what the shortcut we can achieve here, right now they have mentioned the maximum height is 15 meter. Yes, and the floor height of each floor will be 3 meters. So that means we can construct maximum 5 floors of 3 meter height. So here directly we can multiply this maximum ground coverage with 5. We will get how much built up area we can achieve in HIG category. So 5 into the ground coverage, that means this ground coverage, it means it is a area of one single floor, right? So 8,201.25 square meter, if we multiply it by 5, we will get what is the maximum built up area we can utilize in the maximum permissible height with a floor height of 3 meter. So 41,006.25 square meter, this is the maximum built up area we can achieve when the height restriction is of 15 meter and each floor height is 3 meter. So one more thing here, if this question furthermore in the next step, what you can do here, if they have mentioned that what will be the the question can be twisted in this way. If suppose this question can be asked in multiple select question, suppose what will be the remaining built up area which you can't achieve in this height restriction. If you simply subtract this figure 41,006.25 square meter from this figure 45,000, it will be the balance built up area which is available for the HIG category. So this can be the next further step if this problem could have been more tricky, or it can be twisted like in this way. So very simple question. The final answer is 41,006.25 square meter. This is the maximum built up area of HIG units. So you can calculate what will be the maximum buildable area for MIG category, LIG category. You can just change the values and find out the answer by putting your own values like that. So here we have studied that we have seen the similar kind of problem in the previous years also. So more or less, as we discussed in the very first lecture, that generally the questions are twisted in this way. Like as I said in the beginning, that here till previous year they were asking the information based on the information provided till this point. Right now they have again added the FAR have been added in the question, the ground coverage have been added, the maximum height have been added, and then they are asking particularly maximum buildable area for only one category of dwelling units. So for example, in the case of multiple select question, they can also provide you can like what will be the maximum buildable area for HIG unit and LIG unit. So you have to calculate for all these three categories and then select the what will be the correct suitable option in that those four given options. So let's go to the next question. Again, it is from GATE 2017. The question is, in 2011, the population of a town was 5 lakh and the number of housing units were 1 lakh. Calculate the additional number of dwelling units, that is DU, required by the year 2031 so that there is no housing shortage. The assumptions are 5% decadal increase in population. The next condition is new dwelling unit to be completed by the year 2021 is 10,000. Number of dwelling unit which will become non-habitable by 2031 is 5,000, and average household size is 4.5. So I think more or less I think this is the first question we are going to solve till now, that which is having too much information, and we have to consider each and everything while calculating the while doing the stepwise calculation for the problem. So let's solve this question step by step. Okay, so before calculation, till now we have understood the very basic relation, which is, if we know what is the total population, it is household size into dwelling unit. In simple language, if you know what is the size of family living in one single dwelling unit, and if we know what are the total number of dwelling unit, we can calculate the total population of that town. This formula again, like, what is the relation between three values? The dwelling unit, if you know the dwelling unit, then it will be population divided by household, and the next thing, household is equal to population divided by dwelling unit. Now all these questions, they are interlinked with this just conversion. If we know one value, we can calculate. If we know the two value, third value can be calculated by the given information. So just understand this basic relation, that the stepwise, like if you know the population, we can start from the population, then we can calculate what is the, if the average household size is given, then we can calculate the dwelling unit. So in this problem also, what is required is the number of dwelling unit they are asking by 2031. So in short, they are asking what is the housing demand by 2031. So the housing demand, the definition we have learned that it will be the actual housing need plus those who are in the dilapidated condition. Now right now, see, they have given what will be the decadal increase. That means the population is increasing in every decade. The next thing they have mentioned, how many dwelling unit which will become non-habitable by 2031. So that means these units will be in the dilapidated condition or unsafe condition, and they have to be replaced by this year 2031. So this 5,000 figure which is given, it will be added in the value which will we will find out in one of the step. And if we add this figure or to that answer, that will be the total housing demand, that is the additional number of dwelling units which will be required by the year 2031. So from this, just interrelation of population and housing, household size and dwelling unit, let's first focus on the population only. The first step they are mentioning here, that there will be a 5% decadal increase in the population. So let's just start solving this question by having three columns, and we will write year in the first column, then the year 2011, 2021 and 2031. So the population of year 2011 is given, it is 5 lakh. So we will write down the population is 5 lakh here. The next thing they are mentioning, there is a 5% decadal increase in population. If 5%, that means by the year 2021, 5% of 5 lakh will be the net increase. So how much will be the 5% of 5 lakh? It will be 25,000. So net increase in population in first decade, like if you add 5 lakh to the 25,000 to the 5 lakh, it will be 5 lakh 25,000. So 5 lakh 25,000 will be the population by the year 2021. Okay. Then again, there will be a decadal increase in say from 2021 to 2031. So again, the 5% of 5,25,000 we have to add in this population. So that value will be 5% of 5,25,000 will be 26,500. One more thing, I'm just directly, as I have solved this problem in the guidebook, I'm directly giving you the answers. One can, just pause this, pause the video, just take your calculator and calculate these values, so that it, you can also have a practice of solving this question side by side. So the net increase in population by in this decade will be 26,500. So what will be the population of 2031? 26,500 plus 5,25,000. So the population of by the year 2031 will be 5,51,250. So here first, in the very first step, we have just calculated what will be the population if we consider there is a 5% decadal increase in every decade. So now the next thing we will focus is they have mentioned the average household size. Okay, so right now we will calculate what is the existing dwelling unit right now by the given because they have mentioned the starting figure, that is the population of year 2011. So by considering the household size as 4.5, if we divide this the total population 5 lakh by this average household size, we will get what is the existing dwelling unit right now in the year 2011. So that will be our next step. If we divide 4.5, we will get the number of dwelling unit as per the present population, as per the current population. So which will be 1,11,111. Okay. So in the next step, what they have mentioned, the number of housing unit, they have mentioned it is 1 lakh. So what these two figures are telling, there is a housing shortage of 11,111. So existing dwelling unit we have written as it is 1 lakh. So the housing shortage right now at the present is 11,111. Okay. The next step, we will calculate what is if the average household size is same in this difference of 1 decade, then what will be the dwelling unit for this much population required. So as there was no space, I'm just shifting this value in the just upwards. So till now we have calculated the housing shortage by the year 2011 as 11,111. In say year 2021, the population we have calculated it is 5,25,000. So if we consider the average household size as 4.5, the dwelling unit as per the population, as per that population will be 1,16,666. But in the next step, what we will do right now, the new dwelling unit, they are constructing, the government is constructing a few units every decade. So they have mentioned in the second point that new dwelling unit to be completed by 2021 is 10,000. So right now there is a shortage of 11,111, but by the year 2021 the government will construct 10,000 units. So what will be the net housing shortage by the year 2021 will be only 1,111. So that will be our next step. Yes, we have just written the given information as it is in this row, that new dwelling unit completed by the year 2021 will be 10,000. So the net housing shortage up to 2021 will be only 1,111. So what will be the net housing shortage as per the after 2021, right? This is the population which is getting increase. So the net increase we have to calculate in the dwelling unit. So here the population of year 2021 by the year 2021 will be the number of dwelling unit is 1,16,666, whereas if we minus the dwelling unit of which are to be completed by which are present at right now, which are 1,11,111, and if we add the net housing shortage by the year 2021, we will get what will be the housing shortage after the year 2021. So this is our next step. So that calculation will give the value as the net housing shortage after 2021 will be 6,666. The similar step we will again do for the next decade. So here we have calculated the population by the year 2031 will be 5,51,250. If you want to just know, you can just go back in the video and just again see the value. So it is 5,51,250. If we divide it by the average household size, that is 4.5, we will get the number of dwelling unit as per this population, which will required by the year of 2031. So that will be 1,22,500. So similarly, what we have done here for the 2021, the similar thing we will do if we minus this figure, that 1,16,666 from this figure. And again, if we add the net housing shortage after 2021, it will give us what will be the net housing shortage for that after that year. So that will be our next step. If we minus 1,20,000 from 1,22,500, this figure 1,66,666, and if we add this figure, we will get this is the net housing shortage up to 2021, which will be 12,500. Now this will be the net housing shortage, and what they are saying in the question that number of dwelling unit which will become non-habitable by 2031 will be 5,000. So this will be the houseless population, right? And they have mentioned that as I said, this will be the dwelling unit which will be in the dilapidated condition or unsafe condition. So if we simply add this figure, we will get the total housing demand by 2031. That is the additional number of dwelling unit which will be required by the year 2031. So that will be our final answer. So just simply add this 12,500 and 5,000, we will get the net housing shortage up to 2031. So the answer is 17,500. So a bit lengthy or tricky question, but if you just write the information correctly in this particular column, this question was very easy to solve. So the final answer as per the answer key was 17,500. Okay, let's go to the next question. Okay, the next question is from GATE 2018. The question says, question 44, in a mixed-use development on 2-hectare site with 2 FAR, the ratio of residential to commercial floor area is 3:2. That means the ratio of total built-up area. The minimum parking in ECS stands for equivalent car space, needed per 100 square meter of residential and commercial floor area is 1 and 1.25 respectively. Considering full FAR utilization, the total parking requirement is how much ECS? Now the first step, as we have done in the previous problems, they have mentioned the total area, they have mentioned the FAR. We have to just calculate the maximum permissible built up area. So let's write down the values. The value given of the site area, it is in hectare. So just convert into square meter. It will be 20,000 square meter. Maximum FAR they have mentioned 2. So maximum permissible built up area will be 2 into 20,000. That is 40,000 square meter. Now this 40,000 square meter will be divided in the ratio of 3:2. So just assume that the value of residential floor area is 3x. The value of commercial is 2x. So 3x plus 2x will be 5x. 5x is equal to 40,000. So the value of x will be 8,000. So this will be our next step. We have taken the ratio as 3:2. So if we divide this in this ratio, the 40,000, if we divide in 3:2 proportion, the residential area, the residential built up area will be 24,000 square meter and commercial will be 16,000 because the value of x is equal to 8,000. Now what they have mentioned, the minimum parking required in ECS for 100 square meter of residential. If the floor area is 100 square meter, what is the requirement? 1 ECS requirement. So simply for 24,000 square meter, what will be requirement? We just have to do the cross multiplication. So that will be our next step. What is given? ECS per 100 square meter is 1. So 24,000 ke liye how much? So 24,000, just do the cross multiplication. The ECS requirement for residential will be 240. Similarly for commercial, the requirement is per 100 square meter, there is a requirement of 1.25 ECS. So what is the total commercial area? We have calculated it is 16,000. So just do the cross multiplication, 16,000 into 1.25 divided by 100. So the value will be 200 ECS. So what they are asking in the final answer, considering full FAR utilization, we have already considered, we have multiplied this 2 with the available site area, and here we got it as a permissible built up area is 40,000 square meter. So what they are asking, considering full FAR utilization, the total parking requirement in ECS will be how much? So it will be just addition of these two figures. So 240 plus 200 will be 440. So the total ECS requirement for the site having 2 hectare area with full FAR utilization will be 440. So the final answer is 440 as per the answer key. So again, this is a 2-mark question. It was easy compared to the previous one. Okay, let's go to the next question. It is from GATE 2020, the latest one. A developer would like to select a residential plot of 3000 meter square. Just write down this value. The plot is 3000 square meter for group housing in a society. That means it must have different income criteria. If so, yeah. In the further information, they have mentioned that few are EWS unit. So what is the further information? Different option with varying development controls are given. These options are given. Let's say for option 1, the ground coverage is 30%, FAR is 1.5. Okay. In every group housing plot, 15% of the floor area ratio, that is FAR, over and above the maximum permissible FAR. That means this 15% you will get as a supplement. It won't be counted in the right now what is a permissible FAR. This will be over and above the permissible FAR. Has to be utilized for economically weaker section, that is EWS unit. The maximum built up area in meter square available from the options given below. So we have to calculate the maximum built up area for all these 3 options, and as well as we have to consider the 15% over and above built up area or over and above floor area we are getting right now, and which option will be suitable, or in which option we can achieve the maximum built up area from the value given in this table. So in the first step, let's write down this the option here. By mistake I have mentioned the area, but you can consider here that these are the option. Then plot area, which is same for all these 4 options. The FAR is different for particularly that option, and the ground coverage is also different. But at the very first step, we will calculate the maximum built up area as per the this column, and by considering the plot area, which is similar for the all 4 options. So just write down the value of this residential plot 3000, 3000, 3000 in all 4 rows for the all 4 options. The FAR we will copy from this column 1.5, 2, 2 and 3. So this maximum built up area will be just multiplication of these 2 figures. 3000 into 1.5 will be 4500. So this will be the maximum built up area in option 1. Similarly, these figures have been calculated. Now what are they saying further? That 15% you will get over and above. So this 15% of this figure you can use it for the EWS unit. So it is in percentage. So let's write down this FAR values 0.15. So what will be the net built up area for EWS, which we will get over and above the permissible built up area will be 0.15 into 4500, right? So in the next column, the net built up area, here by mistake I have written as FAR, but net built up area we will get for the EWS will be multiplication of this 4500 into 0.15. So just multiply this, we will get the net built up area available for constructing the EWS unit. So 675 will be the built up area in option 1, 900 in option 2, 900 in option 3, and 1350 in option 4. We have just multiplied 0.15 by the maximum built up area we have calculated for all given 4 options. So right now what they are asking, the maximum built up area available from the option given below. That means we have to consider this over and above EWS built up area plus the maximum built up area as per the given condition. Here there is no relation of ground coverage because they have not asked particularly the floor height is not mentioned, the maximum permissible height is not also mentioned. We have to simply just calculate the maximum built up area from the given option. So it will be just addition of these 2 figures. In the third column we will add the value of this column A and column B. So which will be 4500 plus 675, which will be 5175. Similarly, if we keep on adding, in the last option we can achieve the maximum built up area here for the option 4. So that will be 10,350 square meter. So what they are asking in the question, only this value they are asking, the maximum built up area in square meter available from the options given below, that is from the given 4 option. So which will be 10,350. So the answer is 10,350. So a simple question, not a lengthy one. It was 2 marks question in GATE 2020, question 55. Okay. Let's solve the last one in this lecture, which is from the latest question paper of GATE 2021. We have earlier solved this in while solving the GATE 2021 question paper also. But here again, as we are doing the numerical problem on the same topic, again we will solve this. In a housing project, 75% of the permissible FAR was utilized after constructing 4 numbers 8-story tower. Just write down this in the numerical value, 4 numbers and 8-story towers. That means identical, they have mentioned with identical floor area of 400 square meter. That it simply means 4 number 8-story means 8 4s are 32. So 32 such identical floors having area of 400 square meter have been constructed. So if we simply multiply this 400 by 32, we will get the total floor area they have achieved for MIG, right? If 3 numbers 7-story LIG towers with identical floor area are built using the remaining FAR. In the problem only they have mentioned that by constructing this, they have achieved only 75%. So remaining FAR, that is 25 FAR is available for constructing the LIG tower. They are asking the floor area of each LIG tower will be how much square meter. Okay. As we have done the calculation while reading the problem, just write down this value. The floor area of each MIG tower they have mentioned, which is identical, it is 400 square meter. The number of floor they have mentioned it as 8. Then total number of towers are 4. So total floor area will be just multiplication of these 3 number, which will be 12,800 square meter. What they have mentioned, they have utilized only 75% by constructing this 12,800. That means 12,800 square meter is 75% of total FAR, right? So what is the balance FAR available is 25%. But if we consider what will be the total, if this is 75%, what will be the 100%? The total FAR will be 17,066.67. Or you can just, if 12,800 is 75%, how much will be the remaining 25%? You can also do the cross multiplication and directly calculate the FAR available for the LIG units. So here if we subtract the value 12,800 from the 17,066, we will get the available FAR for the LIG unit. So which will be 4,266.67 square meter. So again in the further information, what they are mentioning, 3 numbers 7-story LIG tower. That means if we consider just the multiplication 3 into 7, that is 21 identical floors they are constructing by utilizing this FAR. So if we just divide 4266.67 by 21, we will get the value of that identical floor area of LIG tower. So as I said, just do the multiplication 3 into 7, that is 21, and divide this 4266.67 by 21, we will get the identical floor area as 203.17. But here what happened, few people have challenged that they have asked the floor area of each LIG tower. That means they have considered only the ground coverage of each tower, right? They have not specifically mentioned the floor area of each identical floor like that. So here few people have assumed that they have just divided this 4266.67 by the 3 number of towers. So it will come around 1422. So few people have challenged the key, and as per answer key they have considered both the answers as correct, and as per final key all the answers have been considered as correct and marks to all have been given. So as per our as per my understanding, this should be the correct answer, 203.17, because here they are asking the floor area of each LIG tower That means they are asking the one single floor plate of those 21 identical towers. So here the answer as per me should be 203.17. So this was the last question of this lecture, and as usual you must be curious about what we are going to discuss in the next lecture. So as I'm already informing you at the end of every lecture that which will be the next topic, I'm just announcing that the next topic of the lecture is on the how to achieve the first step of success, that is how to reach till the cutoff square, because it is a basic step. By reaching up to the cutoff square is very simple if you follow the preparation strategy which I am going to explain in this lecture. So that will be a very important lecture. As I see that most of the people, they have just simply watched the first lecture which was on the preparation strategy, reading material and the reference book, but this is also going to be a very important lecture while preparing for the GATE lecture, that what will be the required, what is the strategy you should adopt, that you can easily reach the simple step of achieving the first step, that is reaching up to the cutoff level. So stay tuned, and we will meet in the next lecture. Till that time, I hope this part 2 of this lecture and this all the 2 lectures based on the housing and building bylaws theory and the numerical answer question, you must have liked it. Then do like the video, do comment, do share your feedback, and the most important thing, don't forget to subscribe the channel so that you will get the notification as and when the new video will be uploaded, and it will benefit you while preparing for the GATE exam. So wish you all the best, and thank you so much.